Hey there, my friends. Happy Thursday. I hope you guys are doing well. I am apologizing for my crazy hair this morning. I have not showered yet. That's kind of a regular thing these days. But I just came back from my walk and I didn't want to postpone this in time to take my shower. So I just figure I'll switch this around really quick so that you don't have to look at my crazy hair and no makeup. But it's all good. I'm crafting today and I'm playing, and we're going to do a little bit of impromptu crafting because I don't really have a plan for my project yet. So I'm going to share that with you as I go. So I do have my color scheme picked out, and I do know I'm going to show you the stained glass technique. But other than that, I don't really know what I'm making. So we'll pull this off together. So let me turn this around quickly because, as I said, it's been a late start to the morning, so I'm still kind of in my crazy bed hair. So let's switch this around and we'll start with showing you what I'm working with. Hang on one second. Okay, so get this set up so you guys can see and you're not crooked. Hopefully the lighting is good. So I'm taking a color scheme from a friend of mine, Chris Vicente. We did a virtual event a couple weeks ago, and one of the challenges we had, or one of the question of the days we did, was what is your favorite color scheme right now? And she did this one, which is Granny Apple Green, Poppy Parade, and Pool Party. And so I just thought they were really fun and bright colors. So I'm going to try and use these for my card today. We're going to do what's the technique called? Stained glass technique. So it's kind of a fun thing. I haven't done it in a really long time. I saw a post on Stampin' Up's Facebook page from one of the artisan design team members who did this, and I was like, oh, this would be a really fun thing to show. So I'm going to show you how that works. I should really tape this down because it keeps moving around. Let me tuck it under there. There we go. I am going to, so what I did, like I said, I don't really know what the project is that I'm making. I just know what technique I'm using and what color combo I'm doing. So what I did was I pulled some of the colors of cardstock here, just scraps here, that I can use when I'm creating. I'm going to do a card, so I am going to do a white base. So I already have that cut and scored. I'm all ready for that. I also pulled some gems. I pulled some white ribbon and some baker's twine, and I pulled some of the Ornate Garden paper that may work with this color scheme. I'm not sure how it will look once I get the thing all colored. So I pulled those, and then I also pulled some of this like plain, I think this is probably what I'll end up using, is this stuff, because that will work with any color scheme. So I pulled those, and then I'm also using the Ornate Garden suite. Well, the paper is from the suite. The gilded gems are from the suite. And then also I'm using the Ornate Style stamp, this one here, and then the Ornate Things I'll probably use as well, which is the greeting sentiment. But again, I don't really know exactly what I'm making, but I just kind of pulled some of the things I'll need to be able to do something with my finished product. So this one might be a little longer than my usual 20 minutes here because I do want to show you the stained glass technique. So we're going to emboss on vellum. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I'm using white, Whisper White embossing powder on our vellum cardstock. I'm going to actually do it again because one, I forgot to use my embossing buddy, so I don't know if you can see it, but there's some stray emboss bits here that I don't want. And two, that piece was kind of a little bit small because I think I want to cut the image out. So that one I snipped off the corners and stuff here. So I'm going to try and do it again so that I have the full image. And plus that way it will show you from start to finish. So what you'll need to do the stained glass technique is you're going to need the you're going to need a Versamark ink, which is a watermark stamp pad. We're going to need a open line image stamp. You're going to need your embossing buddy. If you don't have this, you don't have to. It's just a really cool tool to be able to get the static off of this so you don't get stray bits of embossing powder in places where you don't want it. And then you'll need your heat tool as well, and probably something to kind of hang on to this so that you don't burn your fingers. All right, so first up is you're going to take your stamp. And again, I'm using this one from the Ornate, what is this one called? Ornate Style, which is one of the ones that's actually a sneak peek of an annual catalog item. The Stampin' Up! Annual catalog comes out in June, but we actually can order this suite right now and through the end of May. So it actually will carry through right till the start of the new catalog. So it's really pretty. I will tell you that the word set, the Ornate Thanks, I think it's called. Yeah, Ornate Thanks bundle is currently on back order, but you can order it. It will just come after the rest of your order. But it's a really pretty set. So, okay, so here I have, hi ladies. I've just stamped the image, and I don't know if you can, there you go. I've stamped it in Versamark ink, so you can't really see it. And then relatively quickly, you do want, oh, and I did it again. I forgot to do the embossing buddy first. Dang it. You should actually rub this over your vellum cardstock first, then stamp. I don't know why. I can't seem to get that into my head today. That's all right. We're gonna wing it. I'm gonna go ahead now and sprinkle this white embossing powder all over the image. And I usually make sure I do it on a piece of paper or something that I can lift back up and dump the powder back into. So now I'm just going to tap off the excess. See how I've got some excess? I don't know if you can see that, but there's some excess like right here, right here. If I had used my embossing buddy, that would not have happened. But I did not. So I'm just going to make sure I carefully wipe this off before I heat emboss. Otherwise you'll get like that stray embossing. I'm also going to give it some good flicks here carefully so I don't whack it, because if you touch it right now, it's going to rub that off. So I'm going to set that aside for a second and get rid of this, because you do not want to use the heat tool with this embossing powder still on your desk. Ask me how I know these things, because it will send it all flying. So I'm just going to tunnel this back into my container, wipe off my table here. I'm going to flick off my grid paper, get all of that off of there as well. And then I'm gonna put the cover on this so we don't have any happy accidents. Yeah, I'm glad I'm not the only one. It's morning. I don't know why, I had a brainstorm this morning, and I keep saying every week that like doing a Facebook Live in the morning is probably not the best thing for me. And I don't know why. I never thought to do it in the afternoon. So I think moving forward, I'm going to do it at 2, because I think that's a pretty good time for me. But I had already said I was doing it today at 11, so here I am. All right, so we have our Versamark image with the embossing powder on it. I'm going to do this on heat setting number 2. I have the Stampin' Up! Heat tool. You can actually, that's what's the 1 setting. There's 2 settings on ours. We have a 1 and a 2. And the 1 is actually for like vellum and sort of cardstock and things that are a little bit more delicate. But because it takes longer, I'm going to use 2 still. And I'm just going to make sure I keep a distance from my I'm going to do social distancing with my image here, because if you go too close, you're going to burn the vellum. So I'm going to use the 2 heat setting, even though I should use 1. And then I'm going to just get a little bit further away from it until it heats up. So hopefully you'll still be able to hear me as I do this. I'm kind of standing close to the phone, so hopefully it will still pick up my voice. But it shouldn't take too long for this to happen. So I'm just going to go ahead and heat set this, and hopefully you'll be able to actually see it happen. It's one of the magic things for stampers. This is one of the first things I ever saw happen, and I forgot to try, and I was completely hooked on stamping from then on in. So it just takes it a second to get it heated up, and then it should work fairly quickly. There it goes. I don't know if you guys can see that in the camera, but it's starting to heat set right here. So I am keeping some distance from the image, and I'm gonna, once it starts turning, I'm gonna keep my heat tool moving pretty quickly. It's just taking a second to get it heat up here. I may have let it sit too long. It's being a little stubborn here. Too much chalking. I chat too much. I'm trying to get that one little stubborn piece right here to turn. There it goes. Okay, now we'll move down here. It's hard to see from this angle too, so it may be turning faster than I think it is. But I'll show you in a second. You can totally tell when it's not completely embossed, because it will look kind of faded instead of shiny and foilish. Alright, it looks like, oh, maybe not right here. There we go. Alright, I think, there we go. Oh, nope. So see, I can look at this, and I don't know if you can see, but right here it looks muted instead of shiny. I don't know if you can see that. So that is not heat embossed. I'm gonna hit that spot a little bit. Get that to turn as well. Oh, there it goes. It's pretty magical when you see it in person. I'm not sure it's coming through on the video, but it's really magical in person. It looks like that is all embossed. So I'm going to get, oh, you know what? There's one little spot up here, I think. I'm going to give it a second to cool once you heat set it. Okay, I think we're good now. I'm going to give it a second to kind of cool off a little bit because I'm going to flip it over to color. So I don't want to smush it. Oh, I'm glad you guys could see it. It's hard to tell because the way I have my camera right now, it covers the actual center of my table, so I can't really see it. All right, so that looks really good. All right, so I told you before, I'm going to use this color combo. I'm using my blends, and I'm using Granny Apple Green, Poppy Parade, and Pool Party. And this came from my friend Chris. She gave us this idea in our virtual crop last weekend. So to do the stained glass technique, you want to stamp on vellum. You're going to do this on the vellum. This piece happens to be 4 by 4 1/4, but I think I'm actually going to end up cutting this down. So you could just use a scrap piece, Kathy, but this one is 4 by 4 1/4. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and flip this over, and I'm going to actually color on the back side of this. So it's a little trickier because you can't really, it's not gonna, if you color on this side, the embossing actually keeps you inside the lines. It's gonna give you a brighter, bolder look to do that. But to do the stained glass technique, you actually color on the reverse, and it's gonna give you kind of that light look, kind of like when you're looking at a painting or something like that in a church window or something. It's kind of muted. It kind of looks a little bit softer, and that's what this does too. So you're just going to take your blends and color in, and because these are blends, you can go back and do some shading as well, so I may try and do a little bit of that, although if you guys hang out with me very much, you know that that's not really my forte. I'm not an excellent shader, but I do like to try, and I think the blends really give you, with the light and the dark coloring options, I think it really gives you a little bit more control in that way. So, hi ladies. Hope you guys are all doing well today. It's beautiful here on the Cape. I'm on Cape Cod in Massachusetts, for those of you that don't know. And I just came back from my walk, which is why my hair was all crazy when I first hopped on. I try to go for a walk every morning when it's nice, and I couldn't go yesterday because it was kind of yucky out, and I slept a little bit over and had to work. So, I didn't go for a walk yesterday, but I did today. I took like a nice long hour walk, and I hope to go again this afternoon after I'm done. I love Tuesdays and Thursdays because I work for myself those days, so I can kind of structure my days the way I want to, and I love that. So today will be, I try to sandwich my day with a walk. Kind of signifies my start of the day, and then it will also signify kind of the end of the day too, which is nice. That's one of the things I found that's really helped me these days, is to kind of have markers of when my day starts and when my day ends. It snowed last night, Stephanie and Paxton. Oi, no thank you. I will pass on that. So yeah, so now I'm just going to go ahead and color. It can be a little tricky to see what you're coloring from the back side, but I'm going to do my best. But I'm just going to color these leaves in just so I can show you. I probably should have done this in advance, but like I said, I don't have a project designed yet, so we're going to do this together. I'm kind of winging it today. Looks like I missed a leaf over here. So, hey Rose, yeah, it's a little chilly. It wasn't too bad when I went out, actually. I just had my, I have been walking in my boots lately because I need new sneakers, so that kind of hurts my back a little bit. I need to get that taken care of, but I just had my leggings and my t-shirt and my sweatshirt on, and I was fine. Again, I walk for exercise, so I'm walking. I'm kind of hauling my butt along, but yeah, it was good. So I'm just going to add a little bit of darkness in here to do some shading. And you can kind of check as you go by turning this over and looking. So we're doing, if you're just joining us, we're doing the stained glass technique. So I am coloring on the reverse side of my image. Just something a little different. And you'll see when we flip it over that it just kind of gives it a muted look, makes it look more like a softer look to the finished product. All right, so here, let's do a quick check-in. So now when we turn it over, you can see it's kind of softer, but you can still see that shading a little bit in there. So, oi, we're supposed to get snow on Friday, Donna? Oi, I'm really done with the snow, honestly. I'm gonna be all set with that. I'm gonna use the Pool Party for the daisies, or the Gerber daisies, I guess. I guess I should probably have picked another color too. Or maybe I'll leave, actually, you know what? I'm gonna leave those white. I'm gonna do the blue one. This little one's blue. So let's do that. I'm winging it here, I told you. I'm gonna grab a yellow probably, because I'm gonna need yellow centers, and that's what I'll do. I'll make those white daisies with the yellow center. That's what I've decided. We're totally winging it today. Jen woke up late, and she opted to go for her walk instead of designing this first. I thought it'd be kind of fun just to kind of try this together. I like to do that. Okay. So just coloring quickly because I don't want to take forever for this part. But it is a really fun technique to do, and I don't know about you, but I love to color, and I actually find it really relaxing. A couple of summers ago, when I was struggling with vertigo every day for like 9 months, I actually started coloring a lot. That was actually a big anxiety reliever for me. So if you are finding yourself with a lot of anxiety right now, this could be a really good technique for you, because it's just sort of something distracting and takes your mind off things. So that is a little tip for you too, if you're like me and kind of struggle a little bit with anxiety on occasion. It's kind of weird because I never ever had that issue until I had the vertigo, and then it just became a constant thing for me. But thankfully, knock on wood, that has sort of subsided. So I'm doing much better with that, and the anxiety kind of went with it for the most part. I do sometimes, especially now, like there's still some days where things kind of creep up on me, but it's nothing like what I had before, so I can deal with it. So again, we're just coloring on the back side of our white embossed piece of vellum. Is anybody crafting today? Anybody working today? What are we all up to? I'm sitting down at the moment, so I can't really read your comments right this second, but I'm curious how things are going for you. Life seems very strange these days. Although I will say it's not that strange for me lately, just because I've always worked from home. So 25 in the Idaho Panhandle. Ugh. Yikes. Yeah, I agree. Being home, the weather being more pleasant is much more agreeable for me as well. It's funny how just a little sunshine and warmer weather can make my outlook on the day and life so much better. But it's definitely not conducive to getting up and going about when it's rainy and miserable, which is what it's been most of the time. Although I will say, I will take rainy and miserable over snowy any day. We've actually really lucked out this year for snow here on the Cape, because we didn't really get much at all, knock on wood. Hopefully whatever is coming this week will be nice. All right, we're rounding the end of this here. Sorry, I probably should have colored this first, but I wasn't quite ready. So we're just going to color this together. And I am going to add, I think, a little bit of darkness with the dark Poppy Parade in the middle. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you like it. So we're going to color, just going to do a little bit. And I love the blender pens because they're so easy, even for people like me that don't know how to do this. So you can see that's like a really bold center. I don't want to really, although it looks kind of cool on the back side, which is what we want it to do, I actually might leave it. Normally, if I was coloring that on regular, I would then take my light blends and sort of do little circles around it to contrast that out a little bit better. But I actually like the look on the back side. So I'm going to go ahead and make those a little bit bigger, a little bit bolder, a little bit darker. Okay. And then I think I might do the same with these little, although I used the dark on this one because the pool party is really light anyway, but I'm just going to really go in a little heavy in the middle here. Add some more color. Just add some variety here. It won't for sure, so that's a good thing, Donna. The snow will disappear if we do get any. It is kind of pretty, so if it's going to snow, now is a better time of year for that to happen, because you're right, it won't stick around. All right, and then I'm going to grab a yellow. Let's do dark daffodil, and I'm just going to color in the centers here. Okay. I am going to actually add some more color just because I like the whole thing to be full. I'm going to add some green in here, in between there. Okay, so that's what we have for the stained glass. So isn't that pretty? The blue is a little bit light. Maybe I'll actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to add a little bit of light Bermuda Bay, maybe, just to darken that up a little bit, because it's really, really light. So I'm going to actually switch it, I think, to the light Bermuda Bay, and then maybe we'll add in a little bit of dark. I told you we're winging this today, so I'm doing this on the fly. This is what I would do if I was just creating for fun here, so that's what we're doing today. I do generally, when I start a project, will pick my color scheme first. Either my color scheme or my stamp. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I usually pick the stamp. Like, I knew I wanted to use the Ornate Garden Suite today, but I wanted to do something like fun and bright, so I wasn't going to use the Ornate Garden colors, because obviously you could pull your color scheme right from the Designer Series paper, but I wanted something a little brighter and bolder because I knew I needed bright colors for this stained glass technique. So I kind of selected the stamp set, then selected the colors, and then went through the paper to see if anything sort of worked with this color scheme. So if you missed the beginning, I actually pulled some things from my stash before we started that I thought would work with this color scheme, like ribbon and gems and things like that. So now I'm just going to do what we did with the pink. I'm going to go ahead and just add some of the dark Bermuda here. So we switched the color scheme. It is actually now Granny Apple, Bermuda Bay, and Poppy Parade. So it's all nice, bright, bold colors. And then I used a little bit of the dark daffodil for the centers of the daisies. All right. Let's go ahead and turn that over and now see what we think. There we go. I think that's a little bit better. The blue shows up a little bit better. And then we have the white daisies. So I think, you know what I want to do? I want to just, one more thing. Sorry, I'm being a little anal. It's this top one. But I want to pull this up a little bit more. Okay. There we go. Now I think I'm happy. And I think I want to, I don't know if I want to cut this out or not. Actually, let's pull this in. So I'm going to do a card with it. And we obviously want this to pop off really well. So I'm not even sure if I think it's going to be too busy if I use a full-on piece of that pattern paper. But let's kind of experiment a little bit if I put it against, oh yeah, see, it pops much better off of a color cardstock. So I think what I might do, I'm gonna go ahead and we need 5.5 here. I'm gonna cut a little piece of this pool party, probably by, let's try by 3. So I'm gonna cut this 5.5 by 3, and I think I'm gonna put this on the edge here. Okay, whoops, this is a little big. Let me trim this down just a tiny bit. I should have grabbed my smaller trimmer, but that's what was on my desk. So I think I'm going to do that. And then I'm thinking, okay, are you guys picking up what I'm doing over here? I'm wondering if I'm going to cut this out or not. I'm still not sure. But I think I'm going to pull, I think I'm going to use the smaller print. I think that will be better. I'm going to do a small strip of this for the side, I think. Let's see. Oh, you know what? I think I need more than an inch. Let me do a 2 inches. 5, 5.5. Okay. Put those out of the way. And yeah, I've got an avalanche over here. Okay. I'm going to stick this down like this, I think. And then this like this. Okay. And then I think I'm going to put this over here. And I think I need some sort of divider here. Maybe I'm still trying to decide. I think I'm going to have to cut that down a little bit. I'm thinking something like that. Okay. Yeah, we're doing the stained glass technique, Linda. And I am going to fussy cut this, so this will take me a second, ladies. But I think that's what I need to do. And I might change my plan. We'll see. I might just back this on the pool party. Maybe I should have taped it down there first. And then I could have cut. Now I'm thinking maybe I wanted to cut the pool party to the same as this, but oh bother. Sometimes my brain thinks a little slower than my acting here, but we'll see what happens. So I'm just gonna hand cut this here. How do you guys feel about fussy cutting? Do I have anybody that likes to fussy cut? This one is a little bit ornery to cut, but oh, you know what I might do? See, I didn't pull out the dies, but maybe if I prop this up, I think I know what I'm going to do. All right, see, it just came to me as I'm cutting. This is why I like to do fussy cutting and coloring, because I get brainstorms in the middle. So, it's just, I wasn't planning to use my Big Shot because it's kind of hard to see it on camera. And I didn't prep it in advance because I didn't know what I was doing, but we're going to wing it, and I think it will work. All right, so cut that off and then keep going. So I'm not being super meticulous about this because it's vellum cardstock, so it's going to not really show anyway because it's like see-through. So even if you're not perfectly on the edges, you'll still be fine. So cut that. I'm going to be designing later today, so this is good mojo for me to kind of get in the mode of creating. So I need to design my to-go class for this month. It should have been should have been announced yesterday, actually. I try to do it on the 15th of the month, but for some reason I'm just behind this month. But we're going to do the Under My Umbrella set, and I'm going to design a class to go with it since we can't meet in person. Tonight would have been my stamp of the month class, so I picked the Under the Umbrella stamp set, and I'll have that launched hopefully later today. I gotta design it first today, so I'm hoping this will get me in my creative crafty mode here, and then I can send that out via my email list later. So if you're not already on my email list, be sure to click on the sign up button above on this Facebook page when we're done, and that will add you to my mailing list. And actually, I'll try and post it to this live too, so you can join from there. That will make it easier. But yeah, I send out all of my online classes, all of my in-person classes, which obviously aren't happening right now, but all of that stuff is sent out in my weekly email, as well as my little Teach Me Tuesday video on my YouTube channel. So you can always subscribe to me there too if you like my videos. I would love to have you join me there, and I appreciate you joining me here each week on Thursdays. I think I finally figured out the time for me on Thursday is going to be 2 p.m. I'm not really normally a morning person, so I tend to keep to myself in the morning, but I think afternoon would be good. All right, so let's just try this, and then I think I'm going to have a better idea. So I could do something like that, which is pretty, but I think what I want to do instead, I need to get my dies. Sorry, we're totally winging it here, ladies and gents. Painted labels. I want my head. Yeah, is it ornate borders? Is this what I want? This is one of the dies that comes in the bundle. There's two different. Nope, that's not the one I want. This is the one that's actually on back order right now with the words stamp set that I'm going to use probably in a minute. But I actually like, if I can find it, where is that? Oh no. These are all the wrong ones. Heirloom frames, smooth sailing. Is it a bigger one? Oh, here they are. Ornate layers. This is the one I want. This is it. So see how, yeah, look at how pretty those are. So we're going to do one of those in the pool party. And then I can put the vellum piece on that, hopefully. So let me just quickly cut something for that. I think I need a bigger piece of pool party. I think, let's try, I think this one will be good. We'll use this size. And I'm just going to grab a scrap piece of pool party. Hopefully. This drawer of paper is completely stocked, so it's hard to get anything out of here right now. Alright, I'm going to just cut a piece here. And I'm going to stick this on here. And then I'm going to put my die down and roll this through. With the really detailed ones like this, I also like to roll back the other way, so I'm going to do that. Okay. And then that pops right out of the cardstock, like that. Move this out of the way. I'm going to use my, pokey tool. Pop these out. And then we can see what we can assemble for my card. Again, I don't know what I'm doing today. I didn't have a pre-done plan in my head other than doing the stained glass technique. So just pop these out quickly. This actually would be a good spot for the die brush. There's actually adaption tool for the take your pick tool that has the rolly die brush. I do not have that, and I don't know why. I had the old one when we had them, and it kind of fell apart actually. It wasn't part of this tool, it was a different one. And it got kind of caught in some of my stuff, and so the brushes started falling out, and then I never replaced it when we got the new one. And I just realized it the other day when I started using this die. So that's definitely, if you have the take your pick tool, which is only like 10 bucks, it's an awesome tool. It's a great add-on for you. And that's going to be on my next order, because I can't believe I haven't had it all this time. But this works too. Again, it's one of those fussy little things, but it's not the most exciting thing to watch though, so I apologize. It will be worth it, hopefully, in the end. Watch, I won't even end up using this. That's the problem with doing things on the fly. You don't know what the end result will be, and whether or not this will make the cut, but I think it will. I love these dies. They're so pretty. Okay, so there's all of my little doodads out of there. Get that out of the way. Let's bring this back. So now I'm thinking like this. Yes, yes. I like that. So I'm going to tape this down like that. But now we just got to figure out the background. And I'm thinking maybe now we can use a bigger piece of this. So let's just see what it looks like if we do a 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece, which is the standard mat for a card. See if that's too much. So if I put that down like that, and then that down like that, and that down like that, I think that still stands off. What do you guys think? I'm going to go ahead and commit this piece to the blue because I do like that. So my trick for you when we're adhering vellum is to take one of our Stampin' sponges. So you get 3 of these in a package. They're like $3.50 or something ridiculously cheap. I always divide mine up into quarters. So I'm actually going to cut this into thirds. And so when I'm adhering vellum and I don't want it to show through, I usually will take just a little scrap piece here. I'm going to squirt a little bit of my glue right onto the scrap piece, like that. And then I'm going to pick up that glue with my sponge, and then I'm just going to dab that on the back like that. It makes it so it doesn't show through, but it still will be super sticky and won't come off. And actually, I'm just going to add a little bit more to this. Don't need a ton, but I do want it to stay put. I'm not really going all the way to the edges because a lot of the edges are going to hang off anyway. And then I'll flip this over and attach that down like that. Okay. There you go. And that way your fingers don't get all messy and the glue stays in place and it doesn't show through the vellum. So win, 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 right? So there we go. I like that. You can't really use, I would love to pop that up, but if I pop it up, you're going to see the dimensionals through it. So I'll pop this piece instead. And probably the layer, this layer I'll probably pop up too. Okay, so now I'm still trying to decide if I want this gold piece or not. Let me try. I also have this green, which, ooh, I don't know, do we like this better or do we like the gold? I kind of like the gold because it makes it fancy, but, and I like fancy, but let's just take a peek at this 4 by 5 1/4 here, and we'll see. Do we want the green like this and like that? I kind of like that, I think. Let's just put the this one back and see. Or do we like the gold with this? I do like the gold because it makes it fancier. What do we think, ladies? I'll let you guys decide. Gold or green? I see 1 gold vote. Gold, 2 gold votes. Looks like gold it is. Green or gold. You know what? All right, I've seen 3 golds, and I think I'm going to do it the gold because I also have the gold enamel dots, so that will be good too. All right, so now I want to add a little texture to this. I'm going to use the, I brought this ribbon, but I think it's going to get lost on there, and the polka dots is just more busyness, so I'm going to grab my favorite little, yep, it's unanimous. We've all got gold over there. I'm going to grab my, so we're going with the gold. Go for the gold, ladies. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this a few times with my white baker's twine just because I want a little texture on this. And then I'm going to cut that and I'm going to do a little bow on the side. This is one of my favorite things to have because it's super inexpensive and it just works for so many things to add texture. I could have done the crumb cake too. I like the linen thread as well. Those are my 2 favorites. I usually have at least 4 of them in stock at all times. Well, especially if I'm doing classes because I use them a lot and we go through a lot in a class if everybody's using it to wrap 3 times. So I'll tie a little bow on the side. I'm going to trim this down and like that. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and tape this down. And I think we're nearing the end of our card. Okay, so I'm going to attach this here. And then, like I said, I'm going to put this on with dimensionals for sure. So I'll grab some of my dimensionals, put those in the corners. Whoops. Like that. And then one in the center. Lift these up. I'm glad you guys voted in on that, because sometimes it's hard when you're like looking right at it to see. So I'm sure when I look back, it will be more obvious to me. All right, I'm gonna do that. And then I'm gonna add some of our Gilded Gems, which is also part of the Ornate Garden Suite that you can order now. It's a sneak peek from the new catalog. I'm gonna use the smaller ones, I think. So I'm just gonna scatter a couple down here and one up here. There's that. I am going to, just because it's sitting here right on the table, I think I'm going to add some wink to this. Let's add some glitter to these pink flowers. I'm going all out with this. This is going to be a somebody special card. Although everybody's somebody special, so it could go to anybody. But, you know, those card-worthy people, the ones that are going to actually appreciate it, right? I'm going to add some to here. This stuff is my favorite thing too. Wink of Stella, again, is not super expensive. It lasts for quite a while, and it just adds so much to your projects. If you were part of my virtual crafting weekend a couple weekends ago, you got this as part of your goodie bag, which was really fun. It's a fave. Okay, so there's that, and then we need to do a sentiment. So I'm going to use the this one, I think, and I think I'm probably just going to do thanks. Or do I want to, maybe I'll do a skinnier one. Let's see. Maybe I could do just my friend. That would be good. Or maybe you're amazing. Because I think I want a skinny one, not something that's going to take too much away from our featured element. So I think I'm going to do my friend, I think. Just going to do my friend. Does it have a for my friend? No, for my friend is good. All right, so let's go ahead and put this on a block before I lose it. And I can only put my hands on a large one at the moment. I should really use another one. I could get super fancy and do this in gold emboss. What do you think? Should I do that? Maybe on vellum in gold emboss. Let's do it. Let me grab my gold embossing powder. This is a super fancy one. That's copper. Gold. That's silver. Wait. Golds. Alright, so let's try this. I'm going to cut myself a thin little piece of this. And we'll do gold embossing on it. Alright, let's use my embossing buddy this time, because this time it's going to be even more important because of the, it's a sentiment. So that can be really tricky to get no little speckles. So I'm going to use my embossing buddy. Thanks for the reminder, Jill. I did remember. Okay, this one is going to be tricky to do without that. I'm going to set this out of the side, get all this crap off my thing so I don't end up with weird things in my embossing powder, like hair. Okay, I think we're good. I had to lock the cat out of the room before I started because she was already being a little bit of a pain in the bum. All right, so I'm going to do my friend. The trick of this is, did I get that straight? Probably not. All right, there's my friend. I'm going to quickly sprinkle that with the gold. I can't tell if it's straight or not. I don't think it is. But, no, it's not awful. But yeah, it's a little crooked. But that's okay. So am I. All right, so let's pull this out from under here for a second. So I can funnel this back in. Still managed to get some scraps of paper in there. But whatever. Still works. Okay. Now, this one, it's really important to have something to hang on to your sentiment with while you're heat setting, because it's small and it's probably going to fly away. So you want to make sure you're hanging on to that. And I'm going to go ahead and heat set it. I think gold is my favorite just because I love, it's much more obvious than the white, especially on this color vellum. So I'm going to go ahead seems to be turning on this side first. Come on! Those two little pieces won't go. There it goes. There it goes. Okay. Let's see if that actually stands out or not on the card. Oh, it does. I think that looks pretty. Yes? Or should I put it somewhere down here? I think I'm going to trim it up a little bit. Yeah, I'm thinking. Or do I want to put it on another cardstock? And I don't know. I think it gets lost in there. So I'm thinking maybe I need to put it onto another piece of cardstock and then put it on there. Or maybe I should have done it on white. Maybe I should do, hold on, let's try this one more time. Let's do a strip of white and do gold emboss on it. Now I gotta stamp it straight again. Maybe I'll do better this time. All right, let's try this again. So, oh, Embossing Buddy. I almost forgot. Embossing Buddy with this skinny little word. That's gonna be super important. So I'm gonna stamp straight down, straight up. It's also super important that you do straight down, straight up, because otherwise you'll catch the edge of this little itty bitty stamp. We're gonna go ahead and sprinkle it with gold one more time. Okay, like that. There we go. So again, you don't want to touch that because that's going to rub off if you touch it. I'm gonna get rid of the embossing powder. Okay, and then I'll put the cover on so we don't have any accidents. Grab my scissors and my heat tool and go ahead and heat set that. Gold is super magical once it goes. I feel like there's excess over here. There we go. Come on. Let's do it. There it goes. Come on. That little F doesn't want to go. There we go. There we go. Being stubborn. Go, go, go. There it is. It's one little section. Okay. I think that's good. So there we got our my friend. Okay, and then I'm gonna add it to this. Yeah, I think that stands out a little bit better, but I do think I'm gonna trim it down. I'm gonna use my trimmer. I want it nice and skinny. I'm asking for trouble here, you know, just because I keep messing with it, but oh, my blade isn't in all the way. There we go. That was good because I think I was a little too over. There we go. I'm gonna cut that, trim that down, and trim that down, and then I'm gonna go ahead and cut this a little bit too. And a little bit over here. Like that. Okay. And then, do I want to do banners or not? All right, so there it is. And then I think I'm gonna just leave it just like that, but I'm gonna pop it up with some mini dimensionals. Since I made it nice and skinny. I wanted something skinny that didn't take up too much of the pretty little image we did. So I'll stick that there, like that. Okay, and just pop that up right in the center, and then I think we are done. So took me a little longer than normal, but not bad. I'm gonna kind of put that right in line with in the center of those two flowers. And it's a little crooked. There we go. Ta-da! That might still be crooked. There's the finished one. What do we think? Yay? Nay? I like it. So we got some Wink of Stella on there. We got the stained glass technique. We did a little gold embossing. We used our ornate die, and there's our finished result. Well, thank you for cooperating with me and coordinating our thoughts on what to do for this one. I think it came out really nice. I appreciate all of you watching. I hope you're all staying safe and healthy. I will go ahead and post this to my YouTube channel again so that you can go back and watch it later. And if you care to, feel free to share this video if you found something new. All right, I think that's it for today. Take care, and we'll talk again soon. Bye.